G'day guys, what's going on? Super here, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over my round 21 review. I scored 2,447 in the top 3%. Not a bad week from me, considering I had to field a rookie this week. Pretty good stuff. Actually went up the ranks 752 spots, sitting season rank of 5,813, which wasn't too bad, I thought, especially with the Dacos injury, but most people have Dacos, so I can't really do much about that. So last week I had one trade left, so I used that trade on Adam Treloar, and yeah, he really did well for me, which was awesome. So that was great to see. A bit of a risk, but yeah, I thought with his run home, I thought he was a good option. So yeah, I grabbed him. Got Hawthorn this week, and then West Coast next week. So he should pump out some good scores for me, hopefully, for the remainder of the season. So yeah, I've only got about $700 left in the bank account, so that's no good. But yeah, we've got no trades and we've got Nick Dacos, so we're pretty much fucked because we've got Chesser. Chesser is going to be our saviour. Not really. We just got to pray that he can actually score well for me. But yeah, that's obviously probably not going to happen. So yeah, this is my final side. Bit of a stitch up about Dacos, but everyone has him, so can't really do too much about that. But Sicily, he really came out and pumped out a good score, which was awesome. To see 166, amazing stuff there. And then Stewart 134 was amazing as well. Definitely a VC or a captain option for Sicily this week, maybe. I don't know how he scores against the Dogs, but he's just been in unbelievable form, except for when he gets tagged, obviously. But just such a great player. And then Dawson, yeah, he's been pretty unders recently, like especially in finals. Most people have him though. Can't really do too much about that. Maybe a Dacos replacement if you don't have him. But yeah, his current form hasn't been the greatest, so you might even want to have a pod if you do have trades left over. And then Will Day was pretty good. I feel like he should have scored a bit higher than he did. I think his dream team was like a bit higher than what he scored. And then Sheasel wasn't great, so that was a bit of a surprise. Bloody Sheasel Zeeble came back, the dog, scored 127. I think it was his last game, but I'm not sure on that. Bloody stitch up that, he came back, I gave him a 127. Could have held him, but yeah, he obviously dropped way too much in price to hold on to, so I think that's just a lesson to be learned for next year for me anyway. And then Bontempelli, he's going to take over Dacos and win the Brownlow now. Clear favourite, I reckon, if Dacos, well, he's going to be out for the rest of the year, so I think Bond's got a couple big games coming up, like Hawthorn and West Coast as well. So yeah, I couldn't afford to get Libba, so I decided I'll get Treloar instead. And that has turned out to be a good option so far. And Laird was another one who kind of went pretty crap as well, which isn't the greatest. He had the VC on... I actually had the VC on... English. He didn't go the greatest, and then put the C on merit, which was a pretty safe bet. Most people should have done that with the 143, which was awesome. Then Brayshaw got the 124, which was a pretty good score for him. And then yeah, Butters really teared it up. Just plays good against the Cats, I guess, but we don't really have a good midfield, so be interesting to see how we go this week. The sports bet odds have really changed after the Dacos injury, so be an interesting game to watch. And then Neil, he's been like Laird, just a bit not going the greatest. And then Cunningham scored the same as Cripps, which sucks if you own Cripps because he's been a bot last week, but it is what it is. And then Miller, he grabbed someone's balls, so he got suspended. Completely fucked my season. First of all, I bought him in at the start of the year, and I put the C on him for a 40, and that really stuffed up my rankings. And then later on, I'll bring him back into my side, and when finals comes around, he decides he's going to grab someone's balls and get suspended for a week, which is bloody stitch up because I had Walsh as well, so I was going to have two primos miss in the first week, so I had to trade out Walsh because I didn't think they were going to rush him back straight away. So that's a bit of a joke. Walsh to Treloar was a good option. I think Treloar's going to outscore Walsh, in my opinion, if he does come back anyway. And yeah, Touk, if I just had Touk playing last week, I would have had another trade. But yeah, I feel like Treloar's a pretty good option. Like, I wouldn't have been able to afford him if I didn't get him in last week. But yeah, it was just a stitch up. Like, if Miller did play, I'd have an extra trade, and then I'd be able to get rid of Dacos to someone else, which would be ideal. And then Tim English got the 112, which wasn't too bad, but kind of wanted to roll the dice there. Rowan Marshall got 118, which was pretty good from him. Dunkley kind of looked like he was injured with the 77, but I just got to hope that he's alright. Got a couple options for cover, I guess, between Cunningham and Ford, but they scored the same. But they're not really cover options, they're just rookies, just avoiding the donut. Same with Chesser. Just got to bloody hope Chesser really pulls through. Goulden played great, won the medal for that game. Pretty funny speech by him. And then Rosie wasn't that good, but he was pretty good. And then Canelio got 106, which was good. Cameron was bloody shocking. 74, not the greatest stuff there. And 85 from Taranto. He's my cheapest forward, which is a bit of a surprise. So I'll swing Miller back onto the field. Chesser is going to be my cover for Dacos, which is a joke. Luckily, I got into the prelim in both of my leagues, I think, which is good. Just got to make sure that my players don't get injured, but kind of need my opponent's players to get injured if I'm any chance of actually winning, because I'm not in a good spot with no trades and Dacos in my side, so having to field Chesser is a massive stitch up, but I can't do anything about that. Just a lesson for next year. I think next year I'm just really going to focus on chasing the points and trying to climb up in the ranks, because this year I had the chance to climb in the ranks, but I was thinking I'd focus more on leagues, so I kind of fell behind, whereas if I traded the players straight away, instead of holding on to a couple of players for multiple weeks, I probably would have got higher in the ranks, but it is what it is. Maybe I try and hold on to a couple, at least 3 trades at the end of the year, or just try and get a mid-tier player in that should be cover for each line. Maybe that's the way to go. But in terms of Nick Dacos replacements, I would probably say if you don't have Petrarca, I would definitely get Petrarca in. Otherwise, Libba is another good option, but he's quite expensive if you have the DPP swing. Otherwise, in the defender line, I would probably just grab maybe a Sinclair. I think Sinclair is probably a better option than Luke Ryan and Dan Houston for consistency, but the other two, like Luke Ryan and Houston, they actually have higher ceilings. So if you want to have a bit of a pod, I just feel like Houston has some down games, but Sinclair's more of the consistent type of 100s plus. So Luke Ryan, he's been really good though this year. But yeah, as Freo is starting to come closer to winning games, he's not scoring as much. So I wonder if his role has changed there. Doherty's another good option as well. Definitely would recommend him. There's Zeeble, the little dog. But good on him. What a career he's had. I think it was his last game, but it is what it is. And then Newman, 144. Not the worst stuff from him. Probably could be a good pod option actually if you do want to take a bit of a punt and bring in Newman, but you'd have to double check his statistics on the data websites. And then for the VC and captain option, I think the pretty obvious one is to VC Merritt against North Melbourne. Maybe Tom Stewart could be a VC option this week. Feel like we might actually get the win this week, so that's just bias again. But anyway, see what if Touk Miller comes back, he might actually be a fair shout for a VC or a captain option against Sydney. But then again, the Bulldogs are playing the Hawks, probably cop a tag. Bonds probably does cop a tag there, so Treloar might be the guy that might go off in the midfield if they give attention to Libba. but they probably won't give attention to Libba, so he could be another guy if you got Libba. And then Brisbane, maybe Neil goes off against Adelaide. Pretty interesting game, that one. So a couple of our players are on that one, so see who goes well or not. Dawson, how's he go? Not the worst. I feel like Laird is due for a pretty big score. Don't think they would give him any attention at the Lions. I feel like Neil would probably cop a tag from Keys or someone. Dunkley could be another guy. But yeah, I can't load anything at the moment for some reason, but I feel like going to C on English is a pretty safe bet as well against the Hawks, but I don't think he does score the greatest historically against them. I don't know what's going on with my internet. Bloody shocking. Okay, it's not going to load. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry about the internet cutting out. Just a new place, which is unfortunate. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and see you later. Hope you enjoyed the content this year. We're going to, try and be better next year. But cheers. See ya.